Again, it has been a busy few days here at the conference center. Yesterday was President Nelson's viewing, where thousands of people showed up inside to pay their respects. Today, we know thousands showed up in person for the funeral, and we're told tens of thousands were viewing online. A big eventful day, and it didn't just end here at the Salt Lake City Conference Center. No, as Byam mentioned, that procession left here and made its way towards the Salt Lake City Cemetery a few blocks away. And that cemetery has a long history with presidents of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. My colleague, ABC4's Cade Garner, is live tonight. Cade, I know you've been looking into this about what it means for President Nelson to now be added to the list of presidents at that cemetery. Cade?
Yeah, Sarah, where I'm standing right now, I'm actually looking at the monument for President John Taylor. Behind me in the distance, you can actually see the monument for President Gordon B. Hinckley. And President Nelson was buried just a little further up the hill from there. This graveside service was closed to the public, so we're staying away right now out of respect. President Nelson is now the 13th prophet for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to be buried in this cemetery. Now, in the church, there are 17 past presidents who've died. Of them, like I was saying, 13 are buried here at the Salt Lake City Cemetery. It was the church's third president, John Taylor, whose memorial I'm standing by now, who was the first to be buried here in 1887. A large obelisk stands in his memory. And for members of the church, presidents of the church are considered prophets, seers, and revelators. Large monuments like that obelisk and like President Hinckley's memorial show significance of what that calling means. The cemetery draws in members looking to pay their respects and reflect on teachings of these late prophets. I met one man, David Owona, who, as a young man, listened to President Nelson during one of his visits to the man's home country of Uganda. He attended President Nelson's viewing yesterday before heading over to the cemetery where I met him, and President Nelson is always going to have a special place in this man's heart.
You could feel that the work of God is about families, about bringing us together, about making us know the meaning of our lives, that we'll be able to work our way back to our Heavenly Father and to be exalted, to be perfected, and to have joy.
Okay, so you can see that he felt many of those emotions that we heard from others who were at the funeral today. Now, coming up at 5, we're going to take a closer look at this tradition of prophets being buried here in the cemetery, as well as what you can do or where you can go to get a map of their graveside locations so you can visit for yourself. Live in Salt Lake City, Cade Garner. Back to you, Sarah.